Most of you by now have already heard about the $1,400 stimulus package that has been issued recently. If you haven't heard of it already, which I doubt it, I'll summarize. Every American citizen who makes less than $75,000 every year is going to get paid a $1,400 check. Couples who make less than $150,000 a year are going to get paid $2,800 and they will get $1,400 for every dependent they have. The Federal Reserve is printing more and more money in order to keep the economy from collapsing. All that free money that they give you, or they claim to be free, is not so free, and there is a cost to it, and that is inflation. Inflation is the reason why your rent increases every year. It's the reason why your groceries are becoming more and more expensive over time. So that money that they're claiming to be free is not so free after all. So since that money is not free, here's 5 ways you should and should not spend your stimulus check. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is HM and welcome back to another video. First, let's agree on one thing. Let's agree on that the stimulus check that they're paying you is not to stimulate your wealth or mine. The whole idea is giving you that free money in order for you to spend that money and stimulate the economy. Spending that money at Best Buy, spending the money at Chipotle, anywhere but keeping that money in your pockets. Basically, you're gonna end up stimulating everyone else's finances except for yours. Here are 5 ways you can use that stimulus check in order to stimulate your finances. But first, I would really appreciate it if you can hit that like button. It really helps me out tremendously. Now let's go. The first way you can use your stimulus check is by spending it on your wants. Please don't do that. Have you noticed that every time a stimulus check is sent out, stores all of a sudden have a sale to that exact price? For example, the first stimulus check of $1,200, all of a sudden, stores had TVs for sale for $1,200. As I mentioned earlier, the stimulus check is made for you to stimulate the economy and buy those products and spend money at those stores. The earnings of huge companies such as Apple and many more increased after the stimulus checks were sent out. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, even gave some credit to the newly deposited stimulus checks. I know that the $1,400 that you're going to get paid are very tempting and they're going to encourage you to go ahead and buy that $1,000 iPhone you've been eyeing for a while, but please don't. Instead, use that money for number 2, which are your needs. The second way you can use your stimulus check is using it towards your needs. Nowadays, with everything going on, there are many people who are financially hurting, some of them are unemployed, and some of them are way behind on their bills, and many of them really need the stimulus check in order for them to buy groceries. For that reason, they must prioritize using that money in order to pay for those needs. For example, paying for rent, for example, to pay some bills they might be behind on, or buying groceries, or anything that is considered a need. However, people must identify what their needs are. For example, if you're someone who needs that stimulus check in order to buy groceries, you need it to buy groceries, but not necessarily to buy groceries from Whole Foods, for example. Or you might be someone who absolutely needs coffee and you can't live without coffee. Well, you can buy coffee and make it at home versus going to Starbucks and buying it from there. Guys, I don't have anything against Starbucks, but it's just a ripoff to pay $5 for coffee. That's all I think. So most importantly, on top of the list, your priority should be spending that stimulus check on your needs and stuff you cannot live without. The third way you can use that stimulus money is by not spending it, aka saving it. If you're someone who does not have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved just for emergencies, whether you're saving it in your bank account or at home in your drawer or in the fridge, or does anyone store money in the fridge? Anyway, if you don't have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved up, make sure you use that stimulus check towards your savings. It's very important that we actually save money for emergencies or for things that we would never think would happen. Now, if you're someone who likes to play even more safe, I would recommend you maybe save up to 6 months worth of expenses or maybe more than that. Personally, I like having 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved up and not any more than that. Anything more than 6 months worth of expenses saved, I feel uncomfortable doing so because of the opportunity cost this might have. In other words, when I have enough money saved up, I prefer investing the money instead of adding to my savings and having that money lose its value over time. I'd rather have it somewhere where it will grow over time. However, keep in mind that I'm a bit more risk averse and I don't mind being a little risky, if you know what I mean. However, you might be someone who's comfortable with 8 months worth of expenses, so make sure you find that number out and use that stimulus check accordingly. The fourth way you can use your stimulus money is by paying off debt. If you're someone who has a car loan, if you have mortgage to pay, if you have credit card debt, this is a great opportunity for you to pay some of this debt off so you can pay less interest over time and maybe completely pay off your debt in order to not pay any interest at all. Some people have a question in mind, which is, whether they should invest that money or pay off their debt instead. In their minds, they might invest that money and have their money grow and outpace the interest rates that they have to pay on their debt. Now, there's two answers to that. Now, answer number one is it all depends on what kind of debt you have. If you have a mortgage interest of 3% per year, then maybe it might be a good idea for you to invest that money in the stock market, which averages 7% a year, which then you would be outpacing it and making 4% and paying off the 3% of your interest. But you might be someone who has credit card debt and you have to pay 18% interest, then definitely you must pay off your credit card debt, because it's going to be very unlikely, well, not unlikely, but it's going to be very hard for you to outpace that 18%. However, keep in mind that when you invest, your money can grow, but it can also decrease instead of growing. The second answer to that question is it depends on how risk averse you are. When you pay off a debt, let's take the example of the 3% mortgage interest every year. This is a guaranteed return of 3% because you're paying off 3% guaranteed. However, when you invest that money, there is no guarantee that you're going to get that 3% or more than that. You might even lose money. So if you're more of a risky person, then maybe if you have an interest of 3%, then you might be able to get away with it and outpace it. But if it's more than that, you probably should not do that, and you probably should definitely pay off your debt. Which brings us to the fifth way you can use that stimulus money is by investing your money. If you're someone who has their needs covered, you have some savings on the sides, and you have your debt completely paid off, then you definitely should invest your money. This is my favorite of the bunch. However, if you're someone who doesn't have their needs covered, if you have some debt and if you have no savings, then this is probably not the best idea for you. However, if you do, then you should definitely invest. So as the government is printing money and giving you that free money, your money is losing value and you don't want to keep the whole thing saved. So you must invest that money in order to fight that inflation and have your money increase in value rather than decrease in value. Also, if you're someone who's not comfortable with investing the whole amount, maybe you can treat that stimulus check as additional income. And if you have a system such as the 50-30-20 system that I use, I'll leave the link right here. If you haven't watched it before, go ahead and check it out. But essentially, it's spending 50% on your income on needs, spending 30% on investing, and 20% not spending it and saving it. You can treat the stimulus check the same way. Maybe spend 50% of it, invest 30%, and save 20%. Of course, you can adjust the percentages to your liking, but 50-30-20 is what I use and what works for me. Also guys, disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is just my personal opinion and how I would consider using my stimulus check. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Oh, before I go, make sure you get $250 worth of Bitcoin by signing up to BlockFi in the description below, and you can earn up to 8.6% annually on your cryptocurrencies. See you on the next one. Peace out.